Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fragomen FC Passport to North America 2026 podcast. I'm together today with my dear friends Rick and Jake from our Canada and US offices, the three amigos back again for our final episode this year. And today we're trying to take it a little bit lightly. So we're basically giving a hindsight of this year. What were the highlights? What did we like best? Some good ups and downs about 2024 and what to expect in 2025. So without further ado, Rick, I give the floor to you.
Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate it. So let's start our Around the Horn last episode of 2024. So, Jake, I'm going to turn to you first. What was the biggest soccer story emanating from the United States this year?
Well, I'm going to do this from the men's national team and the women's national team. From the women's national team, all positives, right? Winning another Olympics, it was good to bring that gold medal home. From the men's side, I have to say it was Irene Berhalter back, performing so poorly in the Copa America and then sacking him right afterwards. Definitely not the type of tournament you want to have when you're hosting the tournament.
Fair enough. Sergio, what's the biggest soccer story that came out from Mexico in 2024?
Thanks, Rick. And I would have to say also the very poor performance of the Mexican national team, not only in the Copa America, but altogether. So basically, they sacked Jimmy Lozano, and that called for kind of a restructure of the Federation Mexican football team. Basically, we're bringing down Javier Aguirre, which is a seasoned manager. He had a lot of experience not only with the Mexican team, but with other teams in Mexico and Spain. But the highlight here, as I think, which can be taken as a positive feature, is that Rafa Marquez is also coming to come along with him and trying to get his experience and how to train. He was training the Barca B team, as you know, and he did a great job. But now it would be the great opportunity for him to develop as a manager of a national team, just to see how Javier Aguirre does it, try to sponge as much as he can so he can take the lead for the future World Cup. How about yours, Rick? What was the highlight for the Canadian team?
So I think I have to echo Jake, and that is I'm going to split it up. Okay. So Canada went on an incredible run in the Copa America. Getting to the semifinals, playing Argentina twice, losing twice, but also beating a couple South American countries to get there. Losing a thriller to Uruguay, new coach that was only hired a couple games prior to the tournament, and that tournament really galvanized the soccer community here in Canada. Thereafter, beating the U.S. for the first time, I think in 60 years, in an exhibition match on U.S. soil, the first time, and again, I think before any of us were born. And so, the men's team is in really good shape. Our women were also at the Olympics, and I have to say, it was a bit controversial. I think we were the story of who would have thought the Canadian women's national soccer team was the story of the Olympics for the first few days, because it was found that staffers were spying on the opposition. I don't know who thought they could get away with flying drones in one of the most secure areas in the world, which would be the Summer Olympics, and they thought they'd get away with it. Despite that, our ladies put on an incredible performance. They won all three of their games despite getting I can't even remember what the penalty was, but they were docked points. They then were forced to win their games, which they did. They then outplayed Germany in a quarterfinal, but unfortunately succumbed to the Germans in that quarterfinal. But what a run for them. The Spygate, as we call it here, still reverberating a little bit. We'll see how that sort of flows into 2025. But suffice to say, on the men's side, it's looking very, very positive. I think Jesse Marsh is a great coach. He's got the team running on all cylinders, and we're all really excited about next year.
Rick, absolutely. I agree with you on those points for Canada. Very, very epic run.
Usually we're understated. This year, I don't know what happened. Usually we're kind of just flying under the radar.
It was a bold year for Canada. And so I want to ask you guys now, and I'll start with you, Sergio. what's the biggest the 2024 soccer event for you? What is anything in soccer related? What is the one thing that you thought was the most surprising, the most fantastic?
Of course, Jake. I think that for me, it would have to be Xabi Alonso and the Leverkusen. I think they made a great job. They were the underdog, winning over Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. It's never an easy task. They had like 9 years undefeated. And Xabi Alonso is not like a seasoned trainer. He's just getting started. And seeing his development together with the team, Frimpong, Boniface, all of them, Shaka just making such a great job and playing as a unit, playing as a team, getting undefeated on 51 games, winning not only the Bundesliga, but also the Copa, and they were this close to winning the Euro. I think it was just an amazing feature to watch and a little bit out of the ordinary, just like, oh, Bayern won the Bundesliga. Yay. So I think it was just awesome. And it's nice to see the development of Xavi because, Real Madrid fan, I know that he will eventually wound up being the manager of Real Madrid, and I'm super excited about that. So I think it was a great feature. What about you, Jake? What do you think? What was the highlight for you?
So the highlight for me is going to have to be being in South America during the Copa America. So I was in Colombia and I was in Brazil, and it was just amazing to see how much the community comes together, how much the nation comes together, how much everyone supports the national team, and how it brings the community together. It was a lot of fun watching Colombia play while in Colombia. They had a great Copa America, and it was great to watch Brazil play as well. Although, unfortunately, I was there when Brazil did lose to Uruguay.
Okay, but it was a great game. It was very, very exciting.
I think mine would have to be, well, there's a couple. I could be biased and say that there are 5 Serie A Italian club teams in the Champions League this year. I think 9 in Europe overall. Could say that. But in fact, I'm going to say something else. I'm not sure how you classify it, but England going to another final, another European final, just missing winning its second trophy. For those viewers who don't know, England's only won one trophy, 1966, the year they hosted the World Cup. That was against Germany in the final.
It's coming home.
It keeps coming home, yet it's so elusive. They can't find their way home, it appears.
And kind
And
of a fishy final that was, but yeah, sure thing, Rick.
they hadn't been to a final. The last Euro, they again they hosted it. It was at Wembley. They lost in a shootout to the Italians, and then this time around in Germany, playing against Spain, and a lot of criticism of their coach, Gareth Southgate, who's a former player for the English national team, getting very close, just losing to Spain, 2-1. And then he resigns, largely, I think, because of a lot of the criticism he was facing. So where that program goes afterward, and who knows? We know now that they've hired Tuchel as their new coach. So they've brought in a German to coach. I think there's been a lot of people in England who aren't too happy with that hire. We'll see how he does. And we'll see how they do in 2026. Because, I think that they're close. But like you said, Jake, is it coming home? Maybe it's going next door. Maybe it's not even the same neighborhood. I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Well, I like the Tuchel hire because he has experience in the Premier League. He's coached and played against a lot of those players. Not played against, but coached against a lot of those players. So he is familiar. It's not like you're just taking someone who's only played in the or only managed in the Bundesliga. This is actually someone who has English experience. But we'll see what happens.
Definitely, Jake. Definitely, Jake and Rick and Tuchel. I think it's a great DT. He's a great coach. He does have experience on the Premier, but and he also brought Chelsea to win the Champions League, which is an amazing feature. So it's a weird story with England going to the final, not winning, definitely. But I really want to know, guys, what would be a bold guess, a wild guess that you would take for soccer next year? Would you like to start, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely. So bold, wild guess. Oh man, what are we going to go with here? I'm going to say that the Champions League winner is a team that's not from one of the four major European conferences. So, not the Premier League, not La Liga, not Bundesliga, not Serie A. I think that we're going to see a team from maybe the Portugal system.
Okay.
Maybe Sporting. I don't know. They're playing really well right now.
I'll go
They
one
are.
better. I'll go one better.
Oh, go ahead, Rick, please.
I think it's better. Maybe more bold. I'm going to predict that Inter Miami, home to none other than Leo Messi, Luis Suarez as well, a few others, makes a very significant run in the Club World Cup in 2025.
That's indeed very bold, Rick.
That's
So
bolder than
also,
mine.
Jake, not even one of the top four leagues. So mine it will seem not so bold now, but for me, it would be Liverpool. They had Klopp. They had a great team, and when Klopp left the team because he needed some personal time, like everyone thought that they would just crumble down and they would be nothing. And they right now in the first place of the Premier League. Always going against the City. And even though all the bets always in the Champions League go for Manchester City or Real Madrid, I think with Arne Slot as the coach and with the great offensive power that they have in Cody Gakpo, that they have in Luis Diaz, and with still Salah penning his sale to one of the Arabian teams, I think they might be able to win the Champions League. But right now, with both of your wild guesses, guys, I think this is just like the safest bet.
We just want to send a big thank you to all of our listeners and viewers in 2024. And a big thank you to all of our guests that joined the show in 2024. We look forward to seeing you in 2025 with even more episodes and more guests from around the world. Until then, we wish you a very happy holidays and a happy new year, and we expect to see you soon. Thanks so much.